is for Kahlo, an alphabet book of notable artists from around the world, by Dr. Tamara Pizzoli, illustrated by Phil Howell. A is for Arauz. Felix Arauz is an Ecuadorian painter. Staples of his work include the use of bright colors and subjects, such as flowers and landscapes. B is for Basquiat. Jean-Michel Basquiat was an American artist who initially gained popularity in New York City as one half of a graffiti duo. He later began creating works of art individually. One of his original paintings was sold at auction in 2017 for over $110 million. C is for Cézanne. Paul Cézanne was a French painter. He is said to have influenced other great artists of the time, including Matisse and Picasso, and was known to be meticulous about the placement of each brush stroke. D is for Dalí. Salvador Dalí was a Spanish artist. Though he's best known for his surrealist paintings and eccentric character, Dalí's artistic expression also included films, photography, and sculpting. E is for Evans. Dula Marie Evans was an American modernist painter whose works reflected spiritual overtones. She also had experience as an illustrator and a commercial artist. F is for Freud. Lucian Freud was a British painter who was recognized as one of the most prominent portraitists of the 20th century. He was the grandson of the famed psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud. G is for Gaudí. Antoni Gaudí was a Spanish architect from Colonia. His most renowned work, Sagrada Familia, is the most visited monument in Spain. H is for Hopper. Edward Hopper was an American painter and printmaker who specialized in oil paintings, watercolors, and etchings. I is for Ipcar. Dalav Ipcar was an American author, illustrator, and painter. Her most notable work primarily focused on colorfully depicting animals in a range of settings. During her life, she wrote and illustrated many books for children and created sculptures as well. J is for Jones. Lois Mailou Jones was an African-American painter whose artwork was heavily influenced by the continent of Africa and the Caribbean. Her work spanned 7 decades and included illustrations, designs, and paintings. K is for Kahlo. Frida Kahlo was a Mexican painter whose self-portraits explored her personal narrative and cultural identity. Her work has been described as surrealist and feminist in nature. L is for Lewis. Mary Edmonia Lewis was an American sculptor of African and Native American descent who achieved great recognition as a prominent sculptor during her artistic career, which was spent mostly in Rome, Italy. M is for Matisse. Henri Matisse was a French artist who dabbled in artistic mediums such as printmaking and sculpting, but he is best known as a painter. He is recognized as one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. N is for Neshat. Shirin Neshat is an Iranian visual artist who is currently based in New York City. A noted filmmaker and photographer, Neshat's work has covered a wide range of subjects, including Islam, gender, and ways of life. O is for O'Keeffe. Georgia O'Keeffe was an American artist whose most recognizable work includes paintings of large flowers and the breathtaking scenery of New Mexico. She She worked for a bit of time as an illustrator and a teacher, and is now referred to as one of the most prominent modernist artists. P is for Picasso. Pablo Picasso was a Spanish painter who also explored other art forms, including ceramics, poetry, and sculpture. He is known as one of the co-founders of the Cubist movement and a co-inventor of collage. Q is for Qi. Qi by Xi was a Chinese painter who utilized watercolors to depict a variety of subjects, from animals to plant life, naturally. He was also very skilled in calligraphy and seal carving. R is for Rivera. Diego Rivera was a Mexican painter who specialized in large murals. He painted murals in Mexico City and several cities in the United States. Much like his wife, Frida Kahlo, Rivera's culture was masterfully woven into his artwork. S is for Sugiyama. Yasushi Sugiyama was a Japanese painter who specialized in the Nihonga style of painting in watercolor. His work has been exhibited at the Tokyo National Museum of Modern Art. T is for Tomasi Ferroni. Elena Tomasi Ferroni is a contemporary Italian painter based in Rome, Italy. Her realistic paintings often explore flights of fancy, whimsy, and wonder that can be found in real life, one's imagination, or the space that lies between the two. U is for Uzanov. Dečko Uzanov was a Bulgarian painter whose work depicted mostly portraits and landscapes in full color. An award-winning artist and beloved painter in his country, Uzanov eventually became a professor at the Sofia Academy of Arts. V is for Varma. Raja Ravi Varma was an Indian painter and artist considered to be one of the greatest in the history of Indian art. His paintings of Hindu gods are even used as objects of worship by some in India. W is for Warhol. Andy Warhol was an American artist who is known as one of the most prominent founders of pop art. He fused celebrity culture and advertisements that were popular in the 1960s with multimedia techniques such as painting and silkscreening to produce some of the most sought-after and replicated pieces in modern art. X is for Zeran. Jean Zeran was a Greek-American painter who focused on abstract art. Interestingly, he worked as a museum security guard for 28 years, and his works are now part of the Smithsonian American Art Museum collection. Y is for Yakubi. Ahmed Yakubi was a Moroccan painter who also enjoyed expressing his creativity through storytelling and cooking. His visual art included a secret technique using layers of oil and has been exhibited in major galleries and cities around the world. Z is for Zelmer. Wolfgang Zelmer is a German painter who is currently based in Ireland. He is best known for his still life paintings as well as etchings, and has exhibited work in cities around the globe. Copyright 2021 by Dr. Tamara Pizzoli.